Francesca Evans from LymeOnline, bringing you all of this week's news and sport from the Lyme Regis area. Lyme Regis councillors have agreed to earmark a budget of £25,000 a year to help tackle environmental issues after they were told to get real about the climate crisis. Councillor Bulletin, a keen climate activist and chair of the council's Environment Committee, this week urged her colleagues to follow the lead of neighbouring town councils and allocate funds to address the climate emergency. She criticised the council's progress since declaring a climate and environmental emergency in 2019, blaming the hold-ups on the council's recent behaviour issues and infighting.
We passed a commitment in 2019 in July that we were declaring a climate and environmental emergency, and either we're going to do it or we're not. You know, we are either serious about this or we're not. The world is serious about the climate and environmental emergency, and we've got to get real about it as well. Because if the town council doesn't help the town reach net zero, who is going to do it? We've got the expertise here, we've got the funds, we just don't have the political will. So either we're going to do it or we're not.
Councillor Borden initially requested £100,000 to be allocated to tackling the climate crisis over the remainder of the current council term, but it was eventually agreed to budget £25,000 a year up until the next election in 2024. Public Health Dorset has confirmed that the new Omicron variant of COVID-19 has not yet been identified in the county, but has urged the public to take precautions to prevent the spread of the virus. While Omicron has not yet hit Dorset, cases of COVID-19 remain high across the county, with infection rates above the regional and national averages, and the number of coronavirus patients requiring hospital treatment continuing to rise. The use of face masks in shops and on public transport became mandatory again this week across the UK, and Sam Crowe, Director of Public Health Dorset, has issued the following advice.
So I'm asking you to do three things really. The first is to know your risk and understand that this is changing quite quickly with rising cases. So think about those additional measures you can take to protect yourself and others. I'm asking you to act. Airborne transmission is really, really crucial. That's how the virus spreads. So think about those measures that can prevent that happening. If you're meeting indoors, remember to keep doors and windows open. Ventilation is really crucial. Wear a mask if you're mixing with other people you wouldn't normally mix with in enclosed indoor areas. And remember the importance of distance as well. And finally, protect. So remember lateral flow testing, really important for spotting early cases and asymptomatic cases of COVID. And also if you haven't had your vaccination or you're not up to date with your second jab, please do look out for those opportunities to get fully vaccinated. Finally, the booster vaccination programme is rolling out in Dorset. So if you're being called, please do take up that opportunity. So over the next few weeks, I'm just asking you to do all you can to try to help us keep a lid on our cases. None of us wants to go back to that situation where we saw restrictions being brought in. We've got a small window now where if we act together, hopefully we can stave off the need to bring in more serious measures further down the line. So let's keep going. Thank you.
West Dorset MP Chris Loader has urged the government to improve the supply of COVID-19 booster vaccines in his constituency to make sure all people who are eligible have the chance to get their third jab. Addressing Vaccines Minister Maggie Throop in the House of Commons, Mr Loader said that West Dorset's older population were finding it difficult to travel long distances to receive their third jab.
Almost a third of constituents in West Dorset are over the age of 65. And whilst I welcome very much the Secretary of State's announcement this week that he's rolling out the booster to those over the age of 40, I'm afraid in the county town of Dorchester and the second town of Bridport particularly, it is still very difficult for the elderly in that area to receive their vaccine boosters. Can I ask my honourable friend if she will help urgently with sorting this issue by arranging walk-in centres so we might address this issue rapidly? Thank you.
The latest figures on coronavirus cases in Dorset are expected to be released today, so check the LymeOnline website over the coming days for the most up-to-date information. The owner of Upline Filling Station, Village Shop and Post Office has confirmed the facility will close in the new year, but says he will reconsider if amendments are made to plans for a new school opposite his business. Proposed changes to Lyme Road to provide access for a new primary school have been an ongoing concern for garage owner Dave Osler for several years. He says the single entrance and exit for the school could pose a health and safety hazard for his business, with increased traffic queuing outside, making it unviable in the long term. It was announced in October that the post office based at the garage would close in January, but there was some uncertainty over whether the village shop and filling station were also at risk. Mr. Osler has now confirmed he intends to close the entire facility unless clear action is taken to make changes to the proposed access for the school. He said if the plans were changed, he hoped the shop would stay open for many years to come. Residents are continuing to petition for a change to the plans and are in discussions with the Bestic Trust, which submitted plans for the new school. Thousands braved bitterly cold conditions for the big Christmas light switch on in Lyme Regis last weekend. The event has become one of the most popular on the Lyme Regis calendar and was even bigger this year, with the traditional lantern parade being extended into a mini Christmas carnival. Dozens of children and adults made festive lanterns, which were judged in Lyme Regis Baptist Church ahead of the procession. They were then joined by the Mayor and Mayoress of Lyme Regis in a parade down Broad Street, which also included Lyme Regis majorettes, Lyme Morris, the Fixed Steps dancing group led by instructor Sarah Causley, and Father Christmas on his sleigh. Despite high winds during the day, the switch-on went ahead without a hitch, with Father Christmas leading a countdown as huge crowds gathered around the town's Christmas tree. The town was lit up in sparkling silver and gold, the third set of lights to be purchased by Lyme Regis Christmas Lights Committee, which will be rotated every year. Although the town's Christmas tree stood up against last weekend's gale force winds, the same sadly cannot be said for a large lime tree at the top of Cobb Road in Lyme Regis, which came crashing down during Storm Arwen. The tree completely blocked the road and damaged electrical cables. The road remained closed until yesterday while repairs were made, meaning traffic was permitted to drive along the length of the seafront to gain access to the Cobb. The tail end of Storm Arwen put paid to any quality football, but two sides which coped well with the blustery conditions at the Davy Fort last weekend were Lyme Regis first team and Sidmouth Town seconds. The Vikings' second string are a young side struggling in the lower regions of the Devon and Exeter Premier Division with only 2 wins from 13 games. The Seasiders are faring little better, but after a few indifferent performances in which they have conceded unnecessary goals, they were anxious to get back on the winning trail to improve their 8th position, having lost 5 of their games so far this season. Lyme came out of the traps, all guns blazing, and created a number of good chances in the first 5 minutes of the game, but it was half an hour before Waddy Blackmore edged Lyme in front with a clever glancing header. Blackmore got a second with a carbon copy goal to make it 2-0, and other strikes from Brad Rowe, Ben Bowditch and Joe Bond gave a comfortable 5-1 victory. Tomorrow, the Seasiders face a tougher fixture when they play host to 4th place Kentisbeere with a 2:15 kick-off. The bitter cold weather certainly had its effect on the entertainment value of Lyme Reserve's 0-0 draw at Seaton Town, and dropping 2 points saw them lose 2 places in Division 3. Tomorrow, the Resies are away to Pinhoe, where 3 points are well within their grasp. Lyme Rovers' Perry Street fixture was called off due to an outbreak of COVID, but the club is struggling to field 3 teams, and discussions are taking place about whether they might withdraw their third 11. Upline lost ground in Devon and Exeter Division 6, losing by the odd goal in 7 away to Exeter University's 7th 11, a result which still sees them in a creditable 4th place. They will be well tested tomorrow at home to table toppers Oakhampton Argyle. One local side going great guns is the reformed Charmouth. They banged in 7 goals against Wincham to stay in 2nd place in the Perry Street Division 2, having scored 35 goals in 9 games. Tomorrow they are away to struggling Shepton Beecham reserves. There is plenty of live music to enjoy in Lyme Regis this weekend, with a salute to legendary jazz musician and broadcaster Humphrey Lyttelton tonight, sound system and music production collective Mungo's High Five tomorrow, and the regular Jazz in the Bar event on Sunday, all at the Marine Theatre. There will also be a live band at the Nag's Head from 9 p.m. on Saturday night. If you're feeling festive, Upline will switch on its Christmas lights at 7 p.m. this evening, and its eyes down at the Woodmead Halls at 8 p.m. for Cancer Research UK's annual Christmas bingo. Heavy rain and a fresh breeze is forecast for most of the day today. Winds will continue to pick up tomorrow, but most showers are expected to pass in the early morning, and the forecast is looking calmer and drier on Sunday, with temperature highs of 9 degrees. Thanks for watching LymeOnline's video news bulletins. Stay up to date with the latest local news on our website, and don't forget you can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to our weekly email newsletter. Have a great weekend.